Welcome to the George Center. Today we are talking with our friend Marshal Myers. Marshall, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am 27 years old. I have spastic diplegia cerebral palsy. Since graduating high school in 2008, I have written 5 books, 4 novels and 1 book of short stories, and essays and things like that, and I love volunteering here at the George Center. You're all like family to me.
As a volunteer at the George Center, I know in talking with you outside of this interview, you have mentioned that being a volunteer has really helped you find your purpose. What do you think your purpose is?
Well, if I may speak freely, the purpose of men, according to the Westminster Catechism, is to glorify God by enjoying Him eternally, and by helping these kids out here, I can enjoy my purpose of serving fellow men, and by that, serving my Creator.
How has being a volunteer at the George Center helped you find that purpose?
For many years, I just identified myself as an author. That's what I did. That's what I was. I was just an author and nothing more. And I sold books and gave away books and tried to get on the New York Times bestseller list. But since coming to the George Center and volunteering at other places like the George Center, I've come to realize that my purpose is much bigger than that. My purpose is to minister to people's hearts, and I can do that through my actions as well as the written word.
Working as a volunteer, I know you've worked with our bucket drumming group, and you've worked with our Any Dream Would Do, our performing arts group. What have you learned in volunteering about yourself, the kids, and the special needs community?
I have learned about myself that I'm not alone, that there are lots of people in my area of the special needs community that are much like me. They may have different diagnoses, but they're a lot like me. And I have learned, reinforced to my mind, that what C.S. Lewis says is true. You have never met a single person, no matter what their walk of life may be, that did not have a soul. And we all have a soul, we all have a spirit, and we all need love.
What has been your most meaningful experience as a volunteer?
Well, I have seen that, leading into the next question probably here, I have seen that a lot of people have emotional problems here that they try to deal with, and I was reminded of a song by Kate Rusby called Bitter Boy, which goes, "There was a boy, a bitter boy, whose golden heart I saw gleaming," and I thought that many of the people here that dealt with behavioral problems were bitter, but really, leading into the next question, that bitter boy was me. It wasn't them, it was me. And this working here cured me of my bitterness and my hate.
That's really great to hear. So, as you said, leading into the next question, you have experienced some difficulties with dealing with depression. So, I want to know how the music and volunteering at the George Center and places like the George Center have helped you to overcome your depression.
Well, partially I was depressed because I was going through a time in my life where me and my parents were in a time of transition. And during that time, all the places that I used to go for camaraderie and stuff like that, I felt like I no longer belonged there. And I felt like I belong here. And it's not necessarily the music itself, because some of the stuff we do is kind of kiddish and silly here, but it's not the spirit, it's not the music itself, it's the spirit behind the music. I truly believe that God used music to create the world. He sang the world into existence in Genesis, and that's why music has the power of creation, and it also has the power to heal, and your music has healed me.
Do you have a song maybe that speaks to you in relation to your depression? Maybe you can just share the title and the artist.
Well, there are 2 things that deal with me and my depression here, and that's also that song I mentioned earlier by Kate Rusby. Also the song Shoheen, which is, it's Scoticized English, but it's actually Gaelic for the term peace. Shoheen means peace in Gaelic. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why has my angel gone from me, the moon I fear, and the stars fall on me, and stuff like that. And then it goes on, said, my angel is near to me, the moon I do not fear, and the stars shine on me. And you guys have really been my angels in the sense of stars and angels. You have been my angels in that you have brought spiritual healing to my life, and I'm forever grateful to you.
What are your recommendations for others who are dealing with depression?
Get outside your mind, do something, find you, because you see, for me, the George Center is a job and it's a social experience, but also it's a spiritual exercise. And whether that be meditation on scripture, reading positive quotes, stuff like that, do something. Don't just sit on your butt and just be lazy. Just do something. The more you do, the more you'll feel. The feeling comes after the action. That's what my parents tell me all the time. Do something, and then you'll be happy.
Thank you for joining us today, Marshall. We really enjoyed having this interview with you. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we close?
Yes, I would like to say that really coming back to the spiritual in the sense of angels and heavenly music, this place is, I know that I will walk someday and I know that I will be healed in heaven someday, but this place is it's the closest that I've ever come to actually going to heaven, this side of the grave, so thank you very much.
Well, thanks for being with us today, Marshall.
All right.